For signing up for the Astro classes. We've got lots of people signed up for the Lion and the Virgin class. So contract class is finished, but if some people that were in my previous class decide, we are going to have them teach another one soon. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go in the other room. I shuffled 2 decks. I shuffled the Rider-Waite and I shuffled the Biblical Tarot deck. And on the bottom of the deck is the Emperor, and on the bottom of the Biblical deck is the High Priest, which is basically the same card. So we want to talk about the Emperor, or the divine masculine energy today. Pretty weird to get them both out there like that. And also all week we've been talking about the Emperor. So if the Emperor is still sitting, it is probably time to get up off of that Papasan chair. Okay, we're going to go in the other room and we're going to see what the cards have to say. All right, let's go ahead and go in the other room. I hear Shabuzi Good News playing on the radio. Okay, so this was the Emperor. This is the High Priest. Underneath the Emperor is the Wild card with the 10 of Pentacles in reverse, 10 of Cups in reverse. So what I'm getting from this is that he's still sitting on the Papasan chair. He has not used his Wild card yet. He's still not listening, because I said last week to get going. So your 10 of Cups is still in reverse. But what I'm also feeling is the reason why you took a little longer is because you don't want it to be Fantasyland. You want it to be a real celebration. So that's okay. Let's continue on. We've got the Hierophant in reverse. So again, what I'm getting is you're just going from your Emperor to your Hierophant stage. You're in between. You're that in-between spot, okay? So that's all right. Now on this one here, we have Aaron, the brother of Moses, the high priest. So they want you to look up Aaron and Moses. And some of you are Aaron, some of you are Moses. So it's going to hit home. So check out those 2 stories. All right. And then underneath the High Priest, we have the Queen of Candles, which is Deborah, the prophetess and leader. So you can check out Deborah too, but that's what's holding you into a kind of a stuck pattern, is because you're the Emperor. And you know Deborah only wants the Hierophant type of energy, right? Even though you're an Emperor, she's not settling for less. So you've got to get in your Hierophant state, okay? You do have a Wild card, and you do not want it to be Fantasyland. It was in reverse. You don't want it to be Fantasyland. You want it to be the real thing. So you're really contemplating and figuring this out. I'm drawn to the next card where he's sitting. That's what you look like. That's exactly what you look like. Okay, let's see what that card says. It says 4 of Feathers. And it says 1 King 19:12. After the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. Okay, so you're just waiting for more information from God. And then we have Elijah retreats into silence. So this is the Four of Swords. It's a healing energy. Elijah is another you want to look up. So you got Elijah, Aaron, and Moses, and you have Deborah. So that's enough to look up and study, and that will get you a lot more answers, because you don't want to live in fantasy land, okay? And as I said, we go Queen, Empress, we go Page, Knight, then we go to the Kings, then we go to the Emperor, right? And then the Hierophant is at the end. And I always say that the Empress cannot be a goddess until she finds her Hierophant. So the Emperor's great, but we need the Hierophant, okay? And that's kind of where you're at. So that makes total sense. That makes total sense to me. Okay? So now we're going to go ahead and get a completely different shuffle from the Light Seer deck. I'm going to do a complete different shuffle and see what we get. I want to know about any warnings. I want to know about anything you can tell us, because we see where we're at. We said we were at that stuck point a couple days ago or yesterday, right? We were talking about that stuck point. Well, that explained it real well. Okay, so we've got the Emperor again. After all that shuffling, it came right back to the Emperor. So everything's on the Emperor right now. And underneath the Emperor, look at that. After all that shuffling is the Hierophant. You can't make this shit up, can you? So you saw me shuffle. Comes right back to the Emperor and the Hierophant. I hate to end the reading here, so let's go a little bit deeper. Okay, reversed card. So something's stopping you, and it's the Queen. I said Queen, but it's not a Queen. It's a Knight of Wands. So it's action. Action isn't happening. Okay, action is being stalled. Either you got a flat tire or you have to feed your horse, huh? Because something has stalled you. Now, we already said what was stalling you. What was stalling you was that you need to go from Emperor to Hierophant. So everything we said just got backed up there. Totally. Only you know what's stopping you, what's preventing you from being the Hierophant. Okay? Three of Swords in reverse. So that's just telling me that your heart had to heal. Maybe your divorce had to go through. Maybe that job had to get ended. But something ended. And that's good to have this upside down. Because if it was this way, I would say that the reason you're not moving forward is because you're still not healed. But this is telling me you're healed. You are ready to move on. But it's something from that. It's like the residue from that. It's like the reading we just did with, it said the earthquake happened, but God's voice wasn't in it. But the fire happened, and then after the fire, he heard God's whisper. That's it. That's what this card is saying. Okay? This is quite the deep reading. And then it goes right back to a wild card. So this is just looping back around, saying the same thing to you. I would listen to the first 9 minutes and 23 seconds over and over here, because that's your message, loud and clear. It doesn't get any more clear than that. Now we're going to go ahead and shuffle the Biblical Tarot deck. And you saw me shuffle that other deck and the same exact cards came back. So let's go ahead and see what the Biblical Tarot wants me to say. 2 cards flew out here. We've got the 8 of Cups and a new perspective, the Hanged Man. So you have a new perspective on your past. And it's also what I said about it's the residue from the past. So you're healed, you've got the divorce, you've left the job, you are the emperor. You're just in between that emperor and hierophant state where you're just finishing that last part, whatever it is. So that makes total sense. The Eight of Cups and the and the Hanged Man. And I said Hierophant. So it's definitely a new perspective. You want a little bit higher level before you can go in, before you can take that new job, that new goddess, that new Deborah, that new anything. You still got just a little bit to go. Okay, and then at the bottom of the deck was the Knight of Cups. So it's just telling me to stay in love. Keep playing your music. He's got his harp out. Stay where you're at. Just keep moving forward. And then to close it up, we've got the Ace of Feathers, which is the Ace of Swords. And keep relying on God. Look how the sun is beating down on him, the beam. That's where it says, after the earthquake, he heard nothing. But then after the fire, oh, that's when he saw that beam of light come down. That's when he heard God's gentle voice. You got 2 wild cards. Okay, now if you're a female listening to this, it can be still can be about you, but it's about your divine masculine side. Okay, you're not settling for less. You're not taking an emperor, you're taking a hierophant. And you are becoming goddess and gonna get all ready for when that moment happens. And we are at that moment. Some of you may be still waiting for a mission partner because you're on a lower timeline. The lower timeline has mission partners coming in because you're going to stay in 4D and do your project. But the ones that are in 5D and higher, we already have completed our mission here. We're ready for that last part of the movie that I talk about in my astro class, The Lion and the Virgin. That's where we're at. And in order for you to do that part, you really do have to be the Hierophant energy. Okay, a lion that's with a virgin is not no king. He's not even an emperor. He is the Hierophant. So, okay, you guys, this was a great reading. 13:03 on the clock. I love you. I am Miss Mystic. Thank you for listening.